Hello my beautiful crafty friends. Today I am going to be showing you some different ways to use layered dies. I've got two different layer dies that I'm going to be using today, Radiant Ornament and Kingsley, both from Birch Press Designs. I'm going to start with this one here. I don't know if it's meant to be, but I'm going to kind of use it as a snowflake. So it's got three layers to it, A, B, and C. They go in ranging in intricacy. So this one is fairly lacy and has a lot of open spaces. And then we've got the middle one that has like medium spaces, and then this one just has a few little holes. So you layer them up to create something gorgeous like this. Oh gosh, there we go. You can kind of see it. It's very late here at night, so it's a little bit dark outside. Well, it's a lot dark outside. So hopefully you can see everything that I'm doing. Okay, so for the first idea that I have, we're just going to use a layer. Okay, so you don't have to use all three of them all the time. So I have cut 4 or 5 of just that one layer, layer A, out of white cardstock. So I've got a whole bunch of them. And then I've got a piece of white cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I am going to adhere these down onto my cardstock, kind of hanging over the edge. And I'm going to create an entire background just with the A die, just to create some texture in the background. So it's almost like, you know, instead of like an embossing folder, it's giving texture without having to use an embossing folder or a piercing plate. So it's kind of just adding some dimension to the background. So I'm just adding tiny little dots around, and then I'm just going to kind of place it and press it. And actually I'm going to put something down here so I don't get my surface all gluey. Oh, well, that remained clean for a whole 20 seconds. Okay, I'm just going to get a silicone mat here just so the glue has something else to stick to. Okay, so I'm just going to continue doing this and covering the whole background, and then whatever's overhanging, I'm just going to cut it and place it in any of the empty spaces that I have remaining. Okay, and I'm going to cut off the excess and just place it in different areas. Okay, so now that I've got all my spaces covered, filled in all the little gaps and everything, so now I'm just going to put this under a heavy book to dry. Okay, and now it's all dry and we have this gorgeous background, this tone-on-tone dimensional background. I just love it. And this brings me to idea number 2. So for decorating it, I have cut out the center of one of those die cuts. So it did look like that, and I just cut out the center portion. So don't be afraid to cut up your die cuts. I know you spent so much time putting them all together because it takes a lot to like glue them all together, but don't be afraid to cut them up once they're dry. And I can still use this by putting a circle sentiment in there for a different card. But for this one, I'm just going to use the center bit. Okay, so I'm going to adhere that down right there. I'm just using a very basic white glue. It's just in a fine tip nozzle bottle. Okay, so I'm going to place that there, and then I'll put my sentiment. So the sentiment I've just taken from, I wish I knew what it was called. It's from Simon Says Stamp. It's just a whole bunch of Christmas sentiments. I don't know if it had a name. I've long since thrown away the packaging. So, but I'm pretty sure it was from Simon Says Stamp. Okay, so I'm just going to adhere down my sentiment, which says, have a joyful Christmas, no, holiday season. I went with holiday season. Okay, and I'm just going to stick that underneath a heavy book to let it dry, and I think that looks gorgeous. Okay, idea number 3 is to layer 2 of them in the same way. So I've got a metallic third layer. The C is out of a metallic black, and then like a turquoise teal, and then the intricate A layer is out of a regular black cardstock. So I've done 2 exactly the same and layered them up together. They're already glued and dried. I did that off camera. And it's kind of in the same vein as 2. We're going to cut them up to create a border going all the way around the card. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of center them, and I'm gonna have 4 pieces. Okay, so I'm gonna cut each of these in half. Okay, and I'm gonna have 1 at the top, 1 at the bottom, and then 1 on either side with a sentiment in the middle, I think. Or, do I want to do it like that? Oh, I'm not even on camera. I'm so sorry. You can't even see what I'm doing. Okay, so I've got half of the top, half the bottom. Now, do I either do that, which looks kind of cool, or do I cut this one as well and have it here and here? Oh gosh. I think I like this idea. And then 1 sentiment across the, yeah, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I'm cutting 1 in half and leaving the other one whole. And I was going to do a full border, but I think I'm just going to do them like this. So this is kind of the same as 2 in don't be afraid to cut up your die cuts. Okay, now this one's definitely gonna need some time to dry. So I'm going to put that underneath a heavy book, and we will come back to that in a minute. So that's what it looks like so far. Okay, now we'll say this is 3. That, I think that was just a 2B. Okay, so for my next idea, so when the 3 of them are stacked together, there is the openings still, right? So whatever you put it on, so if you put it on a piece of white cardstock, it's going to show the white cardstock. All right, but what if you wanted a background? So in this case, I've used the Catherine Pooler polka dot background die. Okay, and done that out of the black metallic. And then I've got a piece of holographic cardstock that I'm going to put underneath it. Okay, so that's going to be my background. But when I put this particular snowflake onto that background, because the bottom layer is black, I feel like I kind of lose some of the intricacy of the die cut. So what you can do in this case is to trace the die cut onto a piece of solid cardstock. In my case, I just did white, but you could do, this is a bunch of washi tape, and I had planned on tracing this ornament on the washi tape. You could also use scrapbook paper. So create a solid background. And as you can tell, the fussy cutting is definitely not my thing. That is so not my jam. But this is very, very forgiving because it's going on the back layer. You can't really tell when you've messed up your fussy cutting. If you're a little bit off, you can definitely trim it up. But then once it's on the background, I feel like it stands out more. I mean, I guess it's debatable, but anyway, so that's another option. Or we could do a completely different color. Let's try that and just see how that looks. Ooh, let's do this like pinky purple, and then you'll really be able to see it. Okay, so I'm just gonna quickly cut a piece and trace this out and fussy cut it. Just gonna trace it on the back. So I'm just using a pen and just tracing it very quickly. Okay, so there it is. So I'm just going to quickly cut that out and glue it to the back of this. Okay, and this is how that one turned out with the, you can see the kind of pink in there, and then I just used a sentiment down here, backed in a little bit of that same pink. Oh, I love the sparkle, so sparkly. Okay, perfect. So that was idea 3. Now we're going to switch to the bauble ornament. So for this one, I'm going to do a bit of ink blending. I'm going to do a little bit of a rainbow. So I've got Distress Oxides in Candied Apple, Carved Pumpkin, Mustard Seed, Lucky Clover, Blueprint Sketch, this does not want to focus, and Wilted Violet. So what I've done is, I did this off camera, is I've taken the, let me just show you quickly the 3 bits here. So this is A, B, and C. So I've taken the C die and I've just gone around in a rainbow. Okay, so I just used my little mini ink daubers and just went around in a little rainbow and ink blended it. And then I cut one out from the A die, just in white cardstock, and I'm just gonna lay it over like that. And this one also comes with a tiny little die cut that does the top. So I'm just going to put that on there and glue those together, and then just this one's going to be a fairly simple card. So ink blending the background, the C die, is idea number 4. Okay, so I'm just going to adhere these together. Boop. Okay, and I'm going to put that, let's see. Trying to decide if I want it on black or if I want it on white. I think it stands out more on the black. What do you think? I wish you could answer me. Well, you know what? Maybe I will incorporate one of my own ideas and do a black background for the actual bauble. I think I'll do that. This is an Echo Park embossing folder called A Perfect Christmas. Okay. So I think, yes, I think I'm going to cut this down to my card size, and then I'm going to cut a black background for this, just so the colors really pop. So I decided that I think I want to ink blend around just the very edge of the card. So this is going to sit on the front and just show about an 1/8 of an inch all the way around, but I thought it might be cute if there was just a little bit of color peeking around the edges. So I've just put a little bit of mint tape here just so I don't go onto the back, and I'm just going to do just a little bit of ink blending just on the edge, just where you're going to be able to see. Okay, now we'll put the embossed panel on, and then the bauble. Oh, Katya, no! I managed to get ink all over it. Oh gosh. Well, that was not what I intended. Okay, well, we'll see how much the bauble covers up. We'll just pretend that it's splatter and that it's supposed to be there. Shoot! Okay, I'm going to take the mint tape off. Okay, well now I'm going to intentionally do some splatter because I managed to get a bunch of, I don't know if it's showing up on camera, but there's a bunch of little bits of red and orange that I hadn't intended to be there. So just put a little bit down on my mat, add some water and a fan brush. Okay, now we'll clean that up and there we go. Now it looks intentional. Crafting is about learning how to fix all the times that you mess up. And I don't even think this one needs a sentiment. I think the background is kind of sentiment enough. Okay, there we go. And this one is also going to go underneath a heavy book to dry. Okay, next, so I've taken a B and a C. Nope, wrong. I've taken a B and an A, so the two biggest openings, and put those two together. Okay, and I'm gonna omit the C for this one. So instead of throwing away all the little bitties from the inside of the die cut, I took a piece of press and seal, the Glad press and seal, which is like a kind of like a saran wrap, but it's a little bit stickier and it sticks to itself. And I took it and poked all the bits from the die onto the saran wrap. And now I'm going to do some selective inlay. Maybe I should show you what the die cut looks like, and I'll show you what I mean with the press and seal. Okay, so this is what the die looks like right when it comes out of the machine. Okay, it's still on my magnetic mat. So I've got the sticky side of the press and seal. I'm going to press it down into the die cut and then take it off the magnetic mat. Okay, and now I'm just going to take like a pokey tool and just press in all the openings to get the pieces to stick to the press and seal. Okay, and you might have to lift it up and press as you go if they don't all come out right away. Okay, I'm not going to use them all anyway. I'm just going to selectively grab some. And now I'm also going to be doing this in either silver or holographic, I think. So one of those two, I'll do the same process. Okay, so I put that bauble just onto a piece of bright blue cardstock, and I'm just going to put tiny, tiny little dots into the openings that I want to use. So I'm going to put a dot in each one of these and I'm going to try to be neat about it. If you saw the state of my desk, you would find that impossible to believe that I could be neat. And very gently poke this into the slot. So I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to do the inner flower in the silver. It is a little bit finicky, but it's so pretty when it's done. So I've just got a craft pick to kind of help me out here. And it does take a little bit of time and patience, which is also something that I am working on. Okay, so I'm going to put silver on the inside, and then I think I'm going to go with the teal on the outside bits. And the thing with this is that you don't have to fill every hole. I'm just going to do fill in the big openings and leave all the smaller ones open. Okay, so I'm just going to finish doing this and then I'll show you. I'll just quickly bring this up so you can see. So I'm just inlaying the silver here, and then in these big pieces I will put the teal. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so this is how this one turned out. So the inlay is fairly subtle, but I think it is just stunning. It gives a whole new look because it's just a one kind of layer. It's all flat. I really like it. So, I mean, I could have gone with a little bit more drama in the colors, but I kind of like the subtlety of it. And I just finished it with a Believe sentiment. I've had this for ages. I'm actually not even sure where I got it anymore. And it's a layered one that I've already accidentally moved. Boop. Okay. So just to recap, so I have many more ideas, but this video is already going to be super long, so I'm going to cut it at 5. So idea number 1 is to use the A part of a layered die to make a background. And then idea 2 is to cut up the die cuts once they're all done, just to use them in a different way. Idea 3 was to use a solid background behind your die cut, either scrapbook paper, washi tape, just another colored cardstock. You could even use white cardstock and ink it in the color you want. And then idea 4 was to ink blend the C layer and then put a white one on top, so you've got multicolored underneath. And then idea 5 was to do a selective multicolor inlay. All right, apparently I was really into the turquoise today. There's quite a bit of turquoise in here. So those are the cards for the day. And I love them. I think they all turned out really, really cool. So I'm quite pleased. I hope you enjoyed them, and I hope you give some of these a try, and perhaps it was something that you hadn't thought of before. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and give this video a like and let YouTube know that you are enjoying my content. And I thank you so much to everyone who has bought me a coffee in the last little while. It is very, very appreciated, and I thank you for that. So I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you again soon. Big hugs!